Hi, my name's Denise, and I'm going to be your therapist today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm also doing good. How about we start by telling me about yourself?
So my name is Sienna and I'm 24 years old. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I decided to move to Knoxville after completing undergrad at UT. I came to UT to get far away from home because honestly, I didn't want to be with my family anymore. I graduated with a bachelor's in business and I've worked a few different desk jobs in like probably the last 2 or 3 years. I wasn't overly impressed with any of them, so I kept changing jobs and hoping in hopes of finding one that I didn't hate that bad. My original goal was to go to nursing school, but after applying, it ended up not working out because honestly, it just didn't seem like the program wanted me. So I kind of let go of that dream and started working on some other things.
So, why are you coming to therapy?
I'm coming to therapy because my partner said I needed to talk to someone or he would probably break up with me. We've been arguing a lot, and he seems to think that talking to someone would help with my anger. I don't really know if I agree with him very much, but I'm just here so he doesn't leave.
What do you mean by your anger?
I always feel very irritated by small things that my partner does. Honestly, just everyone in general too. I feel like this even happens at like work. We've been together for 3 years and we live together now, so we spend a lot more time together than we're used to. It bothers him when I get mad at him with no explanation, but honestly, it bothers me when he isn't showing me that he cares. I get mad and yell at him a lot when I'm in a bad mood or had a bad day at work. I would say overall that our relationship is pretty healthy, but I honestly don't really know if he would agree, which is why I decided to come to therapy. I really just don't want him to leave me.
Why do you feel like you need your partner?
I feel like I need my partner because I feel like he just fills this like void that my family left. I feel like I have pretty strange relationships with most of the people in my family. I think they have noticed my anger and irritability throughout the years, and they honestly just didn't want to deal with it. They tried to care before I left for college, but by then I felt like they had already shown me that I wasn't a priority and I would be better off far away. My partner is the best, and I really don't know who I would be without him.
So, is your family why you wanted to leave home?
Yeah, like I said, my relationship with my family is pretty rocky. Being far away from them gives us all the space. I only really talk to them on occasion when they reach out, which really hasn't been a lot after our arguments regarding my spending habits before leaving for college.
Can you elaborate on those spending habits?
Honestly, I just like to spend money. If I earn my money, why can't I spend it however I want? When I was still living with my parents in high school, I would spend a lot of money on things like clothes, shoes, hair appointments, stuff like that. I always liked changing up my style frequently since I never really felt like any of them fit me. Anyways, I spent a lot of money on a new laptop before I left for school, and my parents were really not happy about it since my laptop was only a year old. We got in a huge fight about it, and they made me return it in the end. I didn't understand the big deal, but they didn't agree with me spending the amount of money that I had in such a short amount of time. And ever since then, they haven't really spoken to me, and our relationship hasn't been the best, and that was over 4 years ago.
How was your relationship with your family throughout your childhood?
When I was a kid, everything was great. My mom, dad, and I were all really close. They were involved with my things, such as school and outside activities. We went on family vacations and spent a lot of quality time together. They had my little brother when I was 7, and that's when all the things started to change. About 3 years later, everything was different. I was 10 at the time, and my brother was 3. My mom left. She dropped me off at school one day and didn't come back. Instead, my dad came to pick me up from school and explained that my mom needed a break from us and that it had really nothing to do with me. I lived solely with my dad for a few months and talked to my mom on occasion. I guess they figured stuff out and she came home about 4 months later. And this is when they started to fight. I really never got the full story from them, but I heard bits and pieces from their arguments. My dad apparently cheated on my mom, which is why she ended up leaving. I really don't understand why she didn't take my brother and I with her, and I guess I never will. But until I was 13, they lived with each other and there were always arguments. And things got physical sometimes too. I had to keep it together for my little brother though, and be the person that my parents weren't being for him. Finally, when I was 14, my parents got divorced and they both remarried shortly after. I didn't really hate my step-parents, but I really also never felt compelled to form a relationship with either of them. My brother and I had a good relationship for a while, but we don't talk much anymore. By the time I was getting ready to leave for college, my parents were back on speaking terms, which meant they were paying more attention to me, hence the argument.
How did everything that happened with your parents make you feel?
I felt sad at first since we were so close when I was younger, but I kind of just ended up getting numb to the pain. I guess I just didn't really feel anything anymore since I got so used to it. I felt happy sometimes, and other times I just get really upset. My emotions are kind of all over the place since everything happened. Most of the time, I feel pretty numb, and I think that feeling that way is fine. And I don't really need someone telling me that something is wrong with me just because my feelings are all over the place. It's really not that big of a deal.
Okay. Do you have any friends outside of your partner?
I have one close friend that I met at UT during my sophomore year. We met in math class, and she was probably the smartest person in the class. We became close friends because we would get coffee and do our homework together. She's my best friend, but recently I really haven't been feeling like I was hers. She got her dream job, and I haven't heard much from her since it is a pretty time-consuming job. I guess she just has more important things going on than being my friend. Honestly, I just really hope she doesn't leave me entirely like everyone else does.
To cope with this, do you use any substances?
I honestly started drinking my junior year of high school. This was during the time that my parents had both gotten remarried, and I didn't have any interest in being a part of their new families. All my friends were drinking, so I kind of just got involved in it too. I drank a lot throughout college, and I still do drink a lot. It helps to fill the emptiness I feel. I ended up in the hospital with alcohol poisoning last year, but I still continue to drink because I don't care that much if anything happens to me.
Would you say that this drinking affects your everyday life?
I mean, I do use it as a coping mechanism, but I don't really need to do it. I think it just helps distract me from the thoughts I feel of being useless and feeling like I'm not good enough. Drinking makes me feel better, but I don't do it every day, and I really don't think it affects things like work or my relationship.
Okay. And what would you say is your biggest fear?
I think my biggest fear is people leaving me. I would be nothing without the few people close to me, like my boyfriend and my best friend. I hate feeling like they don't care about me because they are everything to me, and I really don't know if I would survive without them.
So I feel like these are all things we could work on. Would you be open to returning to therapy?
Honestly, after this session, I don't really think I need this. I really do not think anything is wrong with me, and I don't think I'll be coming back, but thank you for this session.